So, welcome everybody. I'm Stephen Hessler.
Christopher Hahn.
And we're the Celebrate Piano Series guys, like click and clap. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. If this were a ship, it would all be leaning this way, because everybody wants to see the keyboard, right? The smart people. I know. The smart people get to see Margery's wonderful face. So welcome. We're so thrilled. Celebrate Piano Series is off to a third year of great performances, great performers, great events. We're thrilled you're here. We're thrilled our artists are here. We're especially thrilled Margery is back among us. She was here 5 years, most of you know. And this is just exciting. She plays so beautifully. You'll just love every minute of today. And maybe Chris will tell us about a little thing we're going to do at intermission. You're all going to be part of it. And
great. Yeah, Margery's wonderful. She actually filled in for me as a sabbatical one semester, which I don't think I can ever take a sabbatical again, because I don't know who could. Actually, I was a little scared to come back, to be quite honest. So we are going to do a little drawing, a little raffle, if you will, for these green sheets that are in your programs. We're really just trying to generate your interest and make sure you know what's going on. Most of you already do, but if you'd be willing to fill out the little form on the bottom, let us know how you heard about us. This helps us sort of narrow down and really channel our energies for advertising in the right way, make sure we're reaching who we want to reach. So if you put your address and stuff, we're going to give away a Pianissimo CD and also one of Margery's CDs as well. So we can mail that out to you. So if we have your mailing address, we can do that.
And even if you're already on our list, you have to do it here just so we can tie that to the CD, right? So thank you for doing that.
And then just turn it in out in the lobby at the break. We'll have a box for that. So there it is.
And we'll announce just before the last piece. So hang around till the last piece. It'll be attendance. And the winners must be present to win. Okay, so Margery's here, waiting in the back. So let's go for it.
Enjoy.
Oh, y'all, it is just such a thrill to be back in gorgeous Missoula, I tell you. And it's such an honor to be part of this incredible series. And let me tell you, the last 3 days have definitely been a whirlwind. Just wish there was more time. But at Friday's masterclass in here, it was just such a joy and pleasure to be able to hear and work with the students. Such wonderful performances and great playing. Evidence of the great teacher, the great teaching and teachers going on here. And I tell you, the students are so fortunate to have Stephen Hessler and Christopher Hahn as their teachers. I was inspired. I just, as I said, just cannot believe that I'm back here, and it's just a joy to be here. I want to thank Steve and Chris in the music department for inviting me back, and I want to thank all of you for being here. I'm going to start the program off with the Tempest Sonata, and Beethoven's Tempest Sonata was composed around 1801 when Beethoven was already showing signs of deafness. And the title, The Tempest, was not given by Beethoven, though it's said that when Beethoven was asked about the origins of the sonata, he snapped back impatiently, "Read Shakespeare's The Tempest." But I think the title is a fair description of the stormy nature of the work, the constant shift between the calm and the storm. And you hear this mainly in the first and the third movement. So hope you enjoy. on to Chopin. And perhaps Chopin might have attempted to build a virtuoso career for himself, but he quickly realized that his tone was too intimate and his playing too sensitive to excite listeners in a large hall. And besides, crowds scared Chopin to death. He once told Liszt, "I'm not fitted to give concerts. The audience intimidates me. I feel choked by its breath and paralyzed by all those strange faces." On the other hand, Chopin found himself entirely at home in the elegant salons of Paris with their aristocratic surroundings and the sophisticated company of famous artists, writers, and other musicians. Let the critics complain about his too delicate piano sound in the large hall, because in the salons it was ravishing. "This is my way of playing," Chopin said, "and it also delights the ladies." And it was for such intimate gatherings that Chopin conceived short pieces like the preludes, the nocturnes, and the waltzes. And this nocturne that I'm going to play, the D flat, is a favorite. And in fact, it was so popular it found its way into the James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me. y'all should hear Stephen Hessel play that. Okay. He inspires me for that. I didn't look at the program. Is there an intermission after this next one?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay, great. Okay. Well, we moved to Saint-Saëns then. And Saint-Saëns was an extraordinary genius. At age 3, he composed his first piece. And they just said that he had total recall. If he read a book or heard a piece of music, it was forever in his memory. He was a very fluent composer, and he always said that he lived in music like a fish in water, and that he produced music like an apple tree produces apples. He was one of the first composers to promote French music, and of his etudes, the etude in the form of a waltz is the most often played, and being so popular, it was also arranged for violin, entitled Valse Caprice. So here's etude in the form of a waltz. half is just little short bonbons. So, some of my favorites. Mendelssohn, we talked about Saint-Saëns being an extraordinary genius. Well, guess what? Mendelssohn was another extraordinary genius, and he began composing at the age of 5. And they say that he played the piano as a lark soars because it was just his nature. Schumann called him the Mozart of the 19th century, and Liszt said that he was Bach reborn. The Rondo Capriccioso, can I pronounce it, is one of Mendelssohn's most popular concert pieces, and it was composed when he was, guess how old? 15. That moves a little bit, doesn't it? 15 years old. Now we move to Debussy, and this Reflections in the Water is just so impressionistic. I guess as you listen to it, you can just almost see all these flecks of sunlight mirrored in the reflections of a gently rippling pool. And just to give you a little insight into Debussy's personality, once a pianist playing some of Debussy's pieces insisted that a certain passage in the piece should be played free. Well, obviously this did not sit well with Debussy. I mean, who was this pianist to criticize his writing? So afterwards he said to an observer, "There are some who write music, some who edit it, and that gentleman who does as he pleases." So when asked what he said to the pianist, Debussy replied, "Nothing. I looked at the carpet, and he will never tread on it again." You know, it's interesting that critics accuse Debussy of having destroyed music's most precious element, melody. And this hurt Debussy deeply because he considered melody to be the foundation of his music. So here's the Reflections in the Water. Philippe. He was born in, well, first of all, he was a famous, very famous French pianist. He was born in Budapest, but died in Paris at the age of 95 from injuries he received from a fall in the Paris metro. But throughout his life, he continued to teach and to perform. They say at the age of 91, he was performing the very, very difficult piano part of the Franck Violin Sonata. I played it. It's a bear. So at 91, he was doing that. The Jack-o'-lanterns is a virtuosic showpiece that dramatizes the aura of the Eve of All Saints. And it's pretty short. I think you'll blink and it'll be over. Boy, these are big earrings. My hair gets getting caught in them. But I like them. Go back and get some water. Thank you, Deborah Sears. Now we move on to Liszt, ending the program with Liszt, one of my favorites. He was one of the great flamboyant virtuoso pianists of all time. He was definitely a superstar and had rock star status in the 19th century. I mean, when he walked out on that stage with his long mane of flowing hair and his dangling shiny medals and his Hungarian sword of honor, that was it. People went crazy. Women screamed in ecstasy. They swooned and they fainted. You know, you hear about people throwing flowers on stage. I don't see any today, but that's okay. Well, they would do that. They would throw bouquets of flowers, but also some of their most expensive jewels and other items I need not mention. Liszt knew the impact he was making and just loved it. And in fact, sometimes he would get carried away with himself when playing. On one occasion when he was performing, he got so overcome with his playing, so overwhelmed by the beauty of it all, that he himself swooned and fainted into the arms of the friend turning pages for him. But, you know, I just think my favorite story is about the elderly lady who just always caused a great deal of comment because she just always exuded this curious tobacco odor. And nobody could figure out why, because she didn't smoke and she didn't dip snuff like they did back then. She finally confessed that 25 years earlier, she had been at a dinner banquet where Liszt had been, and she had stolen the stump of his cigar and been carrying it around in her bosom ever since. So you can just imagine while I'm playing this Un Sospiro, it's very flowing and very beautiful, that just women would just be just surrounding him, just in awe. You know, and they just said that actually women would take tweezers and pull hairs out of his head, you know, and carry them off as souvenirs. It's amazing. Other stories too. I can just go on and on. I just think if I had to go back in time and meet anybody, it would have to be him. Very colorful. But anyway, Un Sospiro means a sigh, and it features rolling arpeggios cascading about a melody that's shared between both hands, so you'll see a lot of hand crossing. And then I'm going to end with the Sixth Hungarian Rhapsody, and here Liszt just emulates the gypsy style and adds all sorts of virtuosic display, of course.